rhythm when you're trying to come back now and get back with the team ahead of this playoff game?
No, I mean it's part of being involved with it's part of being involved with your national team, regardless of the circumstances that are going on with your club team, your club team at the time. And so, for me, I've done it. Fortunately, I've been able to be part of the national team for a few years, and so I've done it before where you go away and you're focused with the national team and everything that you're trying to do there, and then as soon as you're back on the plane to come back home, your concentration has to change and immediately be focused on the task at hand for your club team, and that's no different than this past week.
Can you talk a little bit about what it means for you and your teammates to end Tata's time here with first a win over the Red Bulls, but also a title?
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. That's the ultimate goal. And so we approach this game, on Sunday in terms of the first step of this series. We know being able to kind of take care of business against New York City, that was important. And now this is the next step in terms of trying to reach an MLS Cup and ultimately winning MLS Cup. So it's going to be difficult. We know that, but at the same time, we've had a good day or two for me in terms of being back with the team. But I know from speaking with the guys, it's been a good almost a week and a half sort of thing in terms of preparing for the game Sunday. So it should be good.
Brad,
Go ahead.
tell me, how is Gerardo Martino with the team, but not like a coach, like a person with all of you?
Yeah, no, he's very good. He's able to talk to guys about things off the field, not just football. So in terms of that, as a player, you're appreciative of those conversations. And so yeah, he's very, very friendly, very likable.
When did you get back?
Wednesday afternoon.
So is this your first training session or?
No, I trained yesterday. Yeah. Some of us had to work.
This city hasn't had a professional sports team win a championship since I think '95 with the Braves. I'm just curious if you guys are aware of that and kind of aware of the opportunity that you have for the people of the city to kind of celebrate that kind of thing again.
Yeah, for sure aware of it. We know that, maybe not the exact details, but we're aware that it's been quite some time, and that's part of our motivation as well. This city has been fantastic to this team and this club for the 2 years that we've been in existence, and to be able to give them a championship in year 2 would be phenomenal. And so that's definitely in our minds, and we know that. And like I said, it's not going to be easy, but we're 2 games away from being in a final, hosting a final, and 3 games away from winning it. So we've got to make sure that our focus and concentration, and ultimately our output in terms of our performance on the field is up to that level to be able to warrant a championship for the city.
There's quite a few guys that contracts end after this season. When you have so much of importance right in front of you, how do you balance worrying about the future and getting done right now?
Yeah, it's difficult, but it's professional sports. It's not just our league that's like this. It happens all over the world. It happens in other sports in the U.S. That's part of the challenge of having the right mentality and being able to stay focused and not be distracted, and ultimately put the team first. And I think we've got good enough guys in our locker room that are able to do that and understand the opportunity that we have and the opportunity that's presented itself to us. But then also at a certain time, I'm sure they'll have conversations with the higher ups here in terms of their own personal situations. So that's the challenge of professional sports, and you've got to be able to manage the individual situation, but also the team situation.
And while you were with the U.S. men's national team, was the coaching staff or anyone here sending you scouting reports and things that this is what we're going to focus on with the Red Bulls, video clips, anything like that to keep you?
Not necessarily sending me things, but I've had conversations with Aaron, our goalkeeping coach, and with some of the other guys on the team in terms of how the week was going and what we were up to in training. At this point, I don't think a whole lot's going to change in terms of what they're about, what we're about. So it should be an exciting 2-game series.
So it's a Facebook group chat you'll have going on.
I wouldn't necessarily call it that, but the conversations are taking place.
Hey, Brad, tactical question for you guys. In the 3-1 loss here, last time you guys played the Red Bulls at Mercedes-Benz, they had a lot of success out like from the flanks, attacking from the flanks. BWP had some 2 headers. Have you guys talked about that, like limiting that service and making sure, obviously you know where he's going to be, but they have Murillo can attack on the right, Kamara can attack on the left, Kaku can move out left. Have you guys talked about closing them down and limiting that type of attack?
Well, I think in general, you've got to get close to their guys. They're very good. I think they've got two of the best fullbacks in the league in terms of being able to get forward and provide another option in attack for them. So that's going to be important for us to be able to deal with those guys. And as you mentioned, Bradley WrightPhillips has made a huge name for himself in terms of scoring goals and popping up in the right place at the right time to ultimately put the ball in the back of the net, and he's shown he can do that against us. And it's important that because his movement is so good, that we try and limit the like you said, limit the service, limit the source of where the ball's coming from, and be it in the middle, be it out wide. When we get close enough to either tackle or win the ball, we've got to make sure we do that, and we can't just be passive and allow them to have a yard and a half of space, because they will get the ball off, and ultimately we know that can cause us problems. So yes, we need to, in general, all over the field, get closer to their guys and make it difficult, be it finding a pass or finding a cross.
And then Royer, just very dangerous player, one of the best players in my opinion in this league, and he just loves to score against you guys. How do you stop him? And if he steps up, if they get a penalty and he steps up to take it, do you expect a Panenka?
Haven't thought about that, to be honest. But I think that goes back to being able to deal with Bradley WrightPhillips and not allowing all of our focus and energy just to be on him. They've got a lot of guys in the attack that are good in and around goal, and so we've got to make sure as a group and as a team, we're not just worried about one guy or a fullback or Kaku. It has to be a group effort in making sure that we're not giving extra time or space to one other player. And I think maybe that quite possibly had played a role in previous games in allowing him time and space on the ball as we've been kind of focused on Bradley WrightPhillips. And so as a group, we have to do a better job and make sure we're aware of all of our spacing and ultimately where their players are.
You got time for one more?
Brad, at the end of the season, Tata is leaving Atlanta. How do you feel about it? I mean, like a USA national player and as an Atlanta player.
It's part of professional sports. Players, managers come and go. As we mentioned earlier, there's going to be players out of contract that we probably won't see next year, and we'll have new players come in, and because of the situation with Tata, we'll have a new manager. When our season's finished, hopefully after MLS Cup, we'll shake hands, probably have a hug or two, and you wish him well. He's been great for this club. He's been great for our team, and